beginning of the story, we have two sheriffs named Lewis and Meredith. They're assigned to arrest a criminal named Clint. It's known Clint was someone who used to smuggle rare animals. Then the two sheriffs did their job. Briefly, they arrived at Clint's house and immediately carried out the raid. But there, they only found Clint's daughter, Carly.
Okay?
When they walked through the house, Clint used the opportunity to escape. The two sheriffs also realized that there was a chase.
Sheriff Deputy Galloway, we're in a high-speed pursuit of a white...
Hey! Get on your knees!
Clint finally turned himself in.
You're under arrest.
Because of what he did, Clint was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Then Clint's daughter Carly will be taken care of by Meredith because she has no one but her father to go to jail.
So who's coming to get her?
5 years passed, and now Carly's starting to grow up and be beautiful because she's being cared for by Meredith. Meredith already thinks of Carly as her own daughter. And one of the things Meredith was worried about was the day that Clint was released. Meredith therefore spoke to Lewis, so Clint could not meet Carly. But Lewis said Meredith couldn't decide the father's right to meet her daughter.
It's my job to keep her safe.
Then the story shows an elderly couple at the time forgetting their phone in the car. And when the wife picks up her phone in the car, she hears screaming. Therefore, the wife rushes after her husband and worries if anything happens, and the wife is shocked when she sees him dead in the condition of her hands. The reason is not yet known. The wife contacted the police. The two police officers came and suspected the cause of her husband's death from a wild animal attack.
Few feet into the water and proceeds to rip the poor guy apart. She heard the attack, but she fell down and hit her head by the...
You sure it's a bear?
Wasn't a deer.
Well, she's gorillas, not bears.
Will you stop?
The elderly's death spread throughout the city, so that residents were always asked to be careful. Then the scene moved to Clint, who is now at his house, and was shocked by the two people who had been waiting for him. This guy asked Clint to get back to work together. These two guys were his relationships when he was smuggling. Clint refused, so the two men forced Clint to rejoin.
Look. Make the season. We don't like to hurt all the time. Hey.
While Meredith was seen taking Carly in a restaurant there by chance, they met a man named Peter. Peter also began to explain that according to him, the cause of the elderly's death the other day was not the cause of the bear attack.
Good luck.
It's not a bear. I have a great idea. Let's make a fire. I do too.
No, I'm serious.
In the morning, Peter was seen carrying a box to the police station after the box was opened. It turned out that the victim's old hand was cut off the other day, According to him, the cause of the elderly's death was not due to a bear attack, but rather a shark bite. Seeing this evidence, Meredith immediately rushed to the location where she urged the visitors to evacuate immediately. The place would be temporarily closed until conditions became safe. While Luis asked Peter why sharks live in the lake, because he thought they could only live in salt water. A bull shark is a bull shark whose speciality and uniqueness is that it can adjust the ratio of salt in its body, known to be a particularly dangerous type of shark. Peter added that someone accidentally put the shark in the lake. When Clint finished his shower, he was startled by the arrival of a man named Don Barnes. It turns out that Don Barnes was Clint's former boss when he was involved in smuggling. Don Barnes began telling a story about a bull shark, revealing a shocking fact. 5 years ago, when Clint was being chased by the police, there was a bull shark in his car. When the car plunged into a lake, the shark escaped. Now Don Barnes demands that Clint find the shark. At first, Clint refuses, but he has no choice after Don threatens to kill his daughter.
Go fish. I give this back to you.
The shark.
While Luis invited a shark expert named Gareth to capture a shark, Gareth planned to catch the shark alive and document the event for a television show. Confident in his skills, Gareth bid farewell to the police and headed straight to the lake. Once there, he prepared all the necessary equipment for the capture, including a cameraman. Not long after, Gareth and the cameraman dove into the lake. However, Gareth was unaware that there was more than one shark in the lake. As a result, both he and the cameraman became victims of the sharks. In another scene, Carly is shown sneaking into Meredith's room to find her father Clint's address. After finding it, Carly leaves on her bike. Meanwhile, Meredith's mother is out walking with her pet when the dog's leash accidentally slips and the dog runs toward a lake. The mother tries to rescue her dog. Meredith, who has just returned home after being dropped off by Garrett, notices that the documents in her room have been disturbed. At the same time, she sees her mother by the lake and, fearing a shark attack, grabs a weapon to save her. Meredith still feels guilty, thinking that if she had been just a little late, her mother could have died. Shortly after, her mother screams that Carly has been kidnapped. Meredith suspects that Clint is the culprit, quickly heads to Clint's house and contacts the police to go there as well. Meanwhile, Carly arrives at her father's house and, unable to find him, decides to hide in a boat while she waits for him. The police arrived shortly thereafter, aiming their weapons at him and accusing him of kidnapping Carly. Clint, suspecting that Dawn might be the one who abducted his daughter, was shocked when Carly suddenly emerged from his boat. This caused Clint to panic, fearing that he would be blamed for the kidnapping. In his panic, he subdued the officer, pushing him into the lake, and used the opportunity to escape. Clint was overjoyed to see his daughter, whom he hadn't seen for 5 years. Meredith, who had just arrived with Peter, was worried something might happen to Carly, so they quickly went after Clint. However, their boat was suddenly rammed by another vessel, seemingly on purpose. Without them realizing it, there was still one more shark lurking, and as a result, Peter became the victim of the bull shark's ferocity. Meanwhile, Meredith was saved by Clint. Clint explained that he didn't kidnap his own daughter. Rather, Carly came to him on her own. But Meredith didn't believe him. In the midst of their argument, the shark attacked again, causing Carly to fall into the lake. Clint tried to save his daughter, injuring his hand in the process.
Didn't. She's gonna be fine.
Clint,